Welcome back to the Misperception Podcast. I'm your host, Destiny, and thank you for returning. Happy Sunday, everybody. By the time that I post this, it will be Sunday. I have a very good one for you today. I can't believe that we're already at episode 8, but here we are. Thank you to everybody who have subscribed, left comments under the TikToks. Under this podcast. Share to a friend if you can. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Today's episode is going to focus on rebuilding. So let it fall apart to rebuild. Every foundation that falls wasn't a good foundation to start with. Any foundation that crumbles, anything that does not last the element of trial, tribulations, time, is something really not worth having anyways if you think about it, right? Nobody wants a home that leaks every time it rains. Nobody wants to get on a boat that has holes in it. So sometimes when we are sitting in the midst of our what we perceive to be ruins, that is an opportunity to rebuild, to fix the foundation, to change the foundation entirely if we need to. Something about not having anything or not having it is an opportunity to go grab or reach for it all. Sometimes when we are at the bottom, that's the best place we can be, and a lot of us don't really want that. We think of the bottom as this terrible place to be. But honestly, when you're in the midst of nothing, when you're at the ruins, right? And you're sitting in your mess, the only way to go from there is forward or upward. Forward or upward. There's nowhere else to go. So that is an opportunity to fix the foundation. That's an opportunity to say, hey, let me be a little bit more intentional with the type of relationships that I'm building. Let me be a little bit more intentional with the quality of friendships or relationships that I'm building, right? You have an opportunity to not only strengthen and change your foundation, but to 100% contribute to your foundation. A lot of times when we find ourselves in the ruin or at this rock bottom, right? What we were taught didn't work. What we learned didn't work. What we adapted to, it didn't work, right? This time, every brick that you lay will be yours. It will be something that you set with full intention, with desire, with God, with purpose, with passion. Sometimes you gotta let it fall apart so you can rebuild. And the thing about it is, not all the time we recognize that God allows us to fall. Like, God would let us fall if it means rearranging our mindset and changing our perspective and fixing our vision on Him. He'll let it fall apart. Sometimes us hitting rock bottom is the most spiritual thing we can encounter, because it allows us to stop, think, and say, I can see why certain things wasn't serving me. I can see why certain relationships weren't serving in a way that it's supposed to. I understand now. So let me go ahead and fix my perception on each brick that I'm about to lay. Sometimes the ruins aren't, like, if you change your perception and you're looking at the ruins and you're like, like a disaster just struck. That's a mindset. But you can also look at those ruins and say, this is art. I can make beauty out of this. I can craft this so purposefully that this foundation won't crumble. It won't waver in the midst of chaos. Sometimes it takes us having absolute nothing for us to understand the things that we need, the desires of our heart, to fix our heart posture in some situations. The good thing about seasons, though, you won't have to repeat them. That's another thing. You don't have to repeat seasons. Oh, gotta put a pause in this. Okay, so my circumstances have been different. And I think I'm like most people. Like, I didn't come from the most wealthiest lifestyle. I didn't come from like the most fluent neighborhoods or abundant family, but they gave me an opportunity. I took every opportunity that I could. Ooh, that's actually a point. OMG, that is a point. So sometimes when we are in our seasons, right, and everything has fallen apart for us, we're like sitting there like, dang, like, how did this happen sometimes? And we get caught up in the fact that we get caught up in what happened. Not so in the fact that there is an opportunity here. I take, and I've taken, and I will take every opportunity that's presented to me. Anything that is in my best interest, I will take. Anything that brings me closer to purpose, that's an opportunity. You cannot get trapped in what happened or what it looks like. You have to refocus and harness your energy to that foundation. Because as long as you have a steady, solid foundation, that's when you can really start to build. When we're talking about legacy, right? And we're talking about freedom. If we're talking about freedom, just freedom, your foundation has to be right. You're talking about successful businesses, successful marriages, and healthy families that break curses. You're still going back to foundation. So sometimes we're letting it fall apart in order to secure that foundation, to make sure that we are who we were created to be. Change your perspective on that. Fix your vision. And I'm winging it. It's not a happy place to be, though. It will. The word that I think about, like, being at the bottom is agony. And I think that's that word can really grasp the nuance of just sadness and anger and pain. If we could ball them all together and call it something as agony, and it's persistent. Sitting in the ruins is a persistent agony that tests endurance, that tests character, that tests the fact that, hey, do I even want to be here? Do I even want to be here? Is this worth it? All right, visitor.
Be quiet.
Yes, Gary. Okay. I feel weird now. You listening to me?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Where was it? Okay. Hold on.
I hope you won't finish taking a nap when we get there.
Y'all can. So, a lot of times, damn, Janet, you throwing me. I blame Jenny.
Damn.
So when we're in spaces like where we're feeling like there is no, see, I know Jen listening.
Are you listening?
You ain't. You probably.
Yeah.
Okay. You make me laugh. I usually get good.
Sarah do her now.
Hell no. Girl, I'm
I think
dead.
this bitch do her hair.
Oh, she good at it?
Hell no. No, I'm gonna cut apart my hair
Oh,
and start off with my little braids so I can twist it up.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Yeah, she was in that hot sun, girl. And somebody told her to do her. And she been doing it since then, girl. I was meant to call her and see how much she charged.
Okay, let me get this out. All right. So fix your perception. Fix your perspective and just go forward, go upward. Damn it. I don't know what to say no more, Jenny.
Damn, that goes.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, so I'll be back with the second half. All right, we're going to put a pause in this today. I'll finish.